Hey, what's happening, friends? I got your statewide real estate market update for the first quarter of 2024 right here. We're going to get right into the data. So we're going to jump on in, share my screen here, and take a look first at the Big Island. Then we're going to go to Kauai. Then we're going to go to Maui. And then we'll end up on Oahu. And because it is the first quarter of the year, I wanted to do a year-to-date comparison. There's a bunch of different ways we can look at data, but we're going to start with the year-to-date comparison so you can get an idea of how the first quarter of 24 compares to the first quarter of 23, because it is interesting to see these 2 years where very much we are in that high interest rate market, low inventory market, and so 23 was a similar year to 24 in terms of the market. If you compare 22 and 23, the first half of 22 is very different. It was a really hot market, and it wasn't really an apples to apples comparison. But as we look at the first quarter of 23 versus 24 in the residential market, this is on the Big Island. We had a 10% increase in the number of units. So the number of sales is greater than it was. But if we look at here, the change in median price, it's minus 0.48%. So about 0.5% down versus the first quarter of last year. And so in effect, that's pretty much flat appreciation, right? There's about zero change in the median price from the first quarter of last year to the first quarter of this year. Of course, that varies by district, and if you want a specific number for the area that you live in, because if you look at like North Kona, there's actually a 26% increase in the median price from last year to this year. So on average across the entire island, it's almost zero. So negative 0.5% in terms of the change in median price. And that's for the residential market. When we look at the condo market, we had a decrease of 7.6% in the number of units that sold, but we had a 10% increase in the median price on the condo side. So condo prices are 10% higher in the first quarter this year than they were last year. And then on the land sales, 11% increase in the number of units and 0% change in the median price. So this is the Big Island. We're going to jump over to Kauai next and take a look at the numbers on Kauai. So on Kauai, really vastly different numbers that we're looking at here. So this year, there was a 29, almost 30% increase in the number of sales that happened in the first quarter of this year versus last year. So 67 sales in the first quarter of last year versus 87 sales this year. This is residential market, so residential homes. And check this out, 56% increase in the median price in the residential home market first quarter this year versus last year. If we go down to the condo market, the opposite is true. So 22% decrease in the number of condo sales, so less condo sales, but 20% increase in the median price. And so this is primarily due to inventory issues and just not having enough inventory out there in the market. And as we jump down to land sales, not very many land sales happen on Kauai, but a 3.8% increase in the number of land sales and an 18% increase in the median price. So way more appreciation on Kauai in all three segments of the market versus the Big Island. And so page changes now as we look at the Maui market, and they're on a different MLS, so the way they report data is different. But if we look at the sales price and just look at it over the rolling last 12 months. All right, we're going to jump over to Maui now, and on the Maui side, this is the rolling 12 months of median price. And so if you look at the median price from 12 months ago, it was 899,000, so just under 900,000. But if you look at this year, big jump between February and March. Median price on Maui, $1.3 million, you guys. So big increase from a year ago and even from last month. So Maui's market continues to be very, very strong. If we look at the homes for sales, this is somewhat of the good news, bright spot is there is an increase there's been a steady increase since August of last year in the number of properties that are on the market. So we went from the bottom of 447 in August of last year to we are almost at 800. So 783 properties on the market on Maui. So things are, inventory is increasing a little bit, but it doesn't really matter because it's not affecting price. Price continues to go up, and the closed sales number is the other one. It's kind of looks all over the place in this graph, but this starts at 100, so it's really not that big of a difference. There's 170 sales in March. There was 127 in February. But if we go to last March, it was 196. So pretty close, not a huge deviation from last year versus this year in terms of the number of closed sales. But the big headline for Maui is obviously the jump in median price, which just basically means there are more homes selling at the higher price range than there was a year ago. So that's Maui. And then we're going to jump over to Oahu now. So on Oahu side, median price, and again, this is median price for all homes. So it looks low. If we just go into single family homes, this number goes up. So on the single family home side here, we have a 1,070,000 was the median price. And if you look across the board here, it looks like it's going up and down, but this starts at about $1 million, this bottom axis down here. So it's not really deviating that much. If we go back to March of last year, it was 1,050,000. So this year being 1,070,000, almost exactly the same in the single family home market across the board for Oahu. If we look at the condo market here, a little bit lower. So 500,000 in the condo market median price. If we go back a year ago, it was 530. So condo market median price actually has gone down a little bit, but across the board, pretty steady, no matter which market you're in. So now we got single family and townhomes combined together as we look at the number of homes for sale, because this is kind of like the total residential market, right? We want to combine those two together. So looking at total residential market, kind of a steady upward trend from May of last year. We bottomed out at about 1,900 active listings, and today we're up to 2,296 on Oahu. So that's a good news that there is a little bit of an increase in terms of the number of properties for sale, but still very, very low compared to if we look 3 to 5 years ago. This is still about 50% the normal amount of homes that were for sale. And then looking at closed sales, things got slower in January and December, and they've been steadily climbing. So 600 closed sales at a year ago, there was 739. So actually less closed sales than there was a year ago. So all in all, this all looks like it's pretty stable. Nothing crazy going on. At the end of the day, we're still seeing the effects of high interest rates suppressing buyer demand, which is a good thing for buyers. But because of the low inventory, we are still seeing prices continuing to rise, and there's still not that much inventory on the market. Like really, we're still at like 40-50% normal inventory levels if you compare us to the pre-COVID years. So market is still very strong. And as always, if you have any questions, you can always reach out. We can dig deeper into all of this data for you. This can be segmented by part of the island or neighborhood that you're in, so you can get a better idea of exactly what you're looking at, because the big picture averages sometimes don't tell the whole picture depending on where exactly you're located. But if you have any questions, you can always put them in the comments below or email me at dylan@buybigisland.com. There's always a link to book a meeting either in my bio or in the comments, the description below. Happy to meet with you and talk more about your situation. This is your market update for the first quarter of 2024. Thanks for watching. Aloha.